All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is July 15th. NQ fresh all time highs this morning, thanks to some NVIDIA news. We've got the market back into price discovery mode, testing already some of those upside fib extensions. We have CPI behind us now. Pretty much a nothing burger with that CPI. You did actually have one decent little entry right through there post CPI. Pull back into that session volume point of control with the fib buy zone right through there as well. Personally, was not involved, but that's definitely a valid entry post data. Now NQ just pressing the highs. Pressing the highs. We'll see where this overnight high ends up settling. We still have about 8 minutes before the regular open. What I'm going to be focused on, most likely, I would really prefer to see a retest into 23,100. That may or may not come. So a couple of things I'll be looking at for this morning are just going to be our nearby reference points. That'll be this fib extension right through here, purple line on the chart, 23,191 ish. Then wherever the overnight high ends up settling will also be noteworthy. Like I said, our nearest level of interest, it's way down at 23,100. So gap rules will definitely apply for this morning. NQ is going to be gapping into fresh all-time highs, and we want to see how's that gap going to be treated. Is it going to be a gap and go sort of morning? Gap and crap? What's it going to look like? What will we be working with today? Buyers are not really in trouble unless we start to see some acceptance beneath 23,100, and more importantly a push back into the prior day's range. So if we see a pullback here, more of a gap and crap sort of setup into 23,100, I'll be looking at 100 for any potential buying activity, maybe even prior day high if price gets back down into there. If we end up seeing some action back into that prior day structure, that would signify a failed breakout and more of a higher time frame upthrust. That'd be a move I don't really want to be trading against. So more than likely would just be cash and staying patient for that scenario. So we'll see what this morning has in store for us. And ES also making fresh all-time highs this morning. Not nearly the same magnitude of move here, but nonetheless, still into all-time highs. Some decent action. There's actually better action post CPI on ES because you actually have the level of interest at 63.33 right here. So I've been saying you want to keep an eye on ES alongside NQ. It's good action right through there. Sometimes ES will have a favorable location, even though the setups are largely mirrored for the most part. Sometimes ES will have a slight advantage as far as trade location is concerned. For me, no pre-market trades this morning. Nothing that was super compelling. So we'll see what the open gives us. See what we're working with here in about 4 minutes. We do not have any 10 a.m. prints this morning. We do have some Fed speak this morning. But other than that, CPI is now behind us. I think we have the Fed beige book tomorrow. Thursday, I'm pretty sure, is PPI, if memory serves me correct. And then Friday, we have MCS. So we got some more economic data prints to be watching for. NQ all-time highs. If you guys have been watching the stream for the past few weeks, you know that is my least favorite scenario personally, because there's no levels of interest to be working with. Strictly reference points. So it may end up, we'll see if it ends up being a slower morning. TBD. Two and a half minutes until the regular open. So we may have the overnight high marked there. 23,219. 30 seconds till the open. Here comes that open. Let's see. Let's take a look at that gap. Look at that gap. Huge. There's NQ into the overnight high. Good volume this morning. Off the open anyway. Staying patient this morning. Not rushing into anything. Not slapping the open. How's our profile looking? There we go. Session volume point of control at 165. Opening 5-minute bar closes in 90 seconds. So far, pretty bearish. NASDAQ in a session volume point of control there. 23,165. Let's see this opening 5-minute bar. Gap and crap so far. Coming into that post CPI structure point. Right through here. Session volume point of control. You got VWAP down beneath. I'd like to see 23,100 like I mentioned earlier. You got RTY down into the prior day high. If you like to trade the Russell. NQ holding session volume point of control. A little bounce there. NASDAQ little rejection there at that fib extension, purple line, a little lower high, and new low of day incoming. Like to see 23,100, or most likely will be cash until 10 a.m. for NQ. No new low of day just yet. They're on NASDAQ. There's your new low of day. There it is. VWAP just on its own here. No reference point alignment or anything like that. Volume actually surprisingly tapering down. There we go. See 23,100. The gap and crap is well underway here. The gap and crap. Highest volume on the sesh right there. Don't tell me that's going to be the low. Don't tell me that, man. That's a pretty nice bounce. Almost into that 23,100. The low right there is 123. That's not going to be close enough for me personally. Wanted to be in the blue zone. You see an entry? Entries are a dime a dozen, man. Entries all day long. Entries are all day, every day. I'm still entirely cash. Cash, cash, cash. There's your first 15-minute bar of the session closed up. Nice bounce. Gotta say, nice bounce. NQ getting back into that fib extension. A little bit of intraday structure here. Yeah, that 5-minute hammer looks good. Staying patient here. Still cash this morning. Buyers trying for a higher low right here. Not a spot I want to position personally. You have a new low of day on ES. Yeah, Dom, I'd rather wait for post 10 a.m. right now or true test at 23,100. Intraday structure pre 10 a.m. with weaker location. Not my favorite. Post 10 a.m. you'll start to get more clarity. Plus the volume right here is very, very low. So basically the way I think about it is the primary objective, the primary target for sellers has not been hit yet. That's going to be that 23,100 area. And so if I'm going to essentially front run the target being hit, I need to see something super compelling. That can come post 10 a.m. with like a higher time frame reversal signal, something on the 15-minute or the 30-minute, but we don't even have that. This is just a little bit of barcode here. So why force it? Why force it? Don't need to force it at all. Dez taking the payout. Congrats, man. Heck yeah. Well done. Follow your rules. Yes, sir. It's amazing what happens when you respect your rules. Absolutely. Congrats, man. Low volume, little barcode here. Session volume point of control, kind of keeping a lid on price right now. Six minutes till 10 a.m. Still cash. Staying patient. Let it come to you. Let the setup come to you. Don't force anything. All right, 4 minutes till 10 a.m. No data. Primarily just watching this intraday structure here. Little tight consolidation that's built out. Consolidation nation. RTY into fresh session lows down beneath the overnight low. If you trade Russell. Let's see, good old NVIDIA. This is what carried NASDAQ. ES, new low of day. ES almost into a prior day high. So far, ES, that's an up thrust on your near term range. So far. Oh, we're coming into 10 a.m. 1 minute till 10 a.m. No data. At least that I'm aware of. No data. No data. Okay, there's 10 a.m. NQ just sitting here near the lows. Just monitoring intraday structure. Preference, of course, remains 23,100. Do have that overnight support right through here. 23,135-ish. There's your new low of day. There it is. Almost into 100. Currently, what is that, 120? A little uptick in volume there on the new low of day. Benny wants that 23,100. How close do I like to be? Man, I like an actual test. Personally. Don't always get it though. Don't always get it. Then the question becomes, how close is close enough? Well, that's just a byproduct of risk. How much risk do you want to eat? Now we're talking Dom. How about I just trade A plus and not second guess? Yep. NQ, new low of day. Sounds like Trump is speaking right now. Just FYI. NQ back into VWAP. Session volume point of control up there at 165. Five-minute is through prior bar high. Let's see if it holds. A little uptick in volume. All right. All right. All right. The situation is improving. ES, perfect test and hold of prior day high. Okay. Noted. 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 There's almost session volume point of control for you. Take a little intraday fib. Let's see where we're at. Is that the 50 yet? Not quite. 50 is right there at 171. Not a bad spot to reduce, though. 10 a.m. reversal time with the spring setup. Can't ask for much more than that right there. Post 10 a.m., like we said. Post 10 a.m. Little spring. Trails in about 143 right now. NQ back into that session volume point of control. Been a tough area for price all morning. Could lift the trail now to about just shy of 150. May get trailed. All good though. Nice long setup. The idea there is the post 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. reversal time paired with the intraday spring and then closer proximity to the 23,100 level of interest. Price can break session volume point of control here. Look for 183. 183, 190 area. Right through here. There you go. No FOMO, Dom? That's excellent. Very good. All right, I'm going to lift the trail a little bit more, just beneath 160 now. A little microstructure there. We're just riding. Riding along. Here's the 50% intraday fib. Like I said, this purple area is where we're targeting. If price can break session volume point of control, which it did, I'll lift the trail a little bit more. We'll go about 165. We'll go just beneath 170 now on the trail. ES, a perfect hold of the prior day high. You love to see that. Wow. With 10 a.m. reversal time. All right, NQ trail goes just beneath 175 now. Very tight trail that is into my target area. If price can break this point, pretty much go for the session high. Here comes the trail. If that ends up being a one and done morning, I'm very, very happy with that trade. 60 points in floating profit right now. A little patience goes a long way. Okay, nice hold. We get the next leg here. Thank you, Dom. Get out and push. Appreciate it. Trail still just beneath 175. Yeah, hive day next target above 190. A little tricky spot here, but the consolidation's nice and tight, which is a good sign. That area, that's that fib extension that we've been talking about all morning. There you go. Gonna lift the trail just a little bit. We'll go 177 on it. We ride. We just ride right here. What's up, Noah? Long time, man. All right, NQ, I'm lifting the trail just beneath 185. Let's get that session high. I don't want to give back too much at this point. But I don't want to see 190 fail here. NQ, that's a 78% fib for the intraday. If I get trailed here, that'll be a 50-point play locked in. Yep, there's the trail. All right, good enough. Good enough. There it is. We'll take it. May have been trailed to the tick, but whatever. Happy with it. Again, the idea there, 10 a.m. reversal time, you have pretty close proximity to the level of interest. And then you have the intraday spring setup on very high volume. I like it. I like it. Post 10 a.m. That's the kicker for me. Yeah, it may have been top opportunity of the morning. We'll see. The day's still pretty young. ES, pretty nice rejection there at VWAP, following the prior day high bounce. Yes, sir, Rich. That's what it's all about right there. Just looking for those asymmetrical opportunities, executing accordingly. The outcome is the outcome. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, if you look at the action this morning, so far, that's been the best play. Cleanest move, pretty much one sided. If you nailed that, or even got a piece of it, you're doing pretty well today. Now, if you got chopped up all through here all morning and then you nailed that and you know the results are looking a little different, that's kind of a different story. But you got to work on avoiding that pre 10 a.m. action. There's the execution again. So far, just a one and done morning. And cue a little consolidation here at that fib extension. That's that purple line right here. Right here. See that being respected this morning. There it is on the higher time frame chart. Give you a little visual. 23,190, 1.272 Fibler extension. The old Fibler. It's also this high right here is value area high. I don't even know if you can see that very, very faint line on my chart right here for the volume profile. ES back in a session lows, and Q rolling over a bit here. All right, Ray, take care, man. We'll see you. Got RTY, new low of day, nice overnight low short right there from earlier in RTY. That's the Timmy special right there. Session volume point of control holds. Let's get rid of that fib. Clean up the chart a little. Not a ton to do here. Staying patient now. We'll see if we get another setup. RTY is approaching prior day low. All right, we're 1 hour into the regular session. Time for a poll. How is your morning? Let me know. Poll in the chat. See how everyone's doing. Let's see. A little more rollover there. ES into session lows. Pulse says no in red. Nice. Beautiful. Nasdaq just settling into a range here. Definitely divergence from ES and RTY. Is Nvidia still holding this thing? Let's see. Oh yeah, Nvidia just carrying Nasdaq this morning. VWAP holding right there. Yep. Yep. So far, it's just a range day. 10 a.m. marked the low so far. So far. Everything else is looking pretty heavy. RTY coming into prior day low. It's about to break prior day low. ES just pressing the lows. NASDAQ just holding its own. Imagine hitting the clean setup and still saying, I need more, only to press the gas on bad setups. I kill P&L and confidence. Yeah, that's a very common issue, down. 100%. 100%. You got to align yourself with only taking A plus trades. Takes a long time to have that discipline. It's got to recognize and acknowledge where the edge is in the market. That's one of the challenges with trading is that it will occasionally reward you for bad behavior. And you could basically click buy or sell at any time and have the chance of getting what you deem as a favorable outcome. It's like flipping a coin, essentially. Flipping a coin with some money behind it, but do that long term. And of course, probably going to be looking at net losses. So what happens is one day you make a mistake and then you take some random trades and you recover from a P&L perspective from that mistake. Now you've just trained your subconscious that if I do random things after I have a mistake, number one, I alleviate the pain from that mistake. And number two, I make some money, or so you think. And that is a very, very dangerous loop to find yourself in. I've definitely been there before, I can tell you that. Okay. NQ getting a bit more interesting here. NQ coming into the lows. Still just with the one setup, the one trade this morning. There it is. I've not done anything else since then. And like I said earlier, if it ends up being a one and done Tuesday, then So be it. Yeah, getting a bit more interesting here with NQ coming into the lows. So session low stays on watch, of course, as well as the 23,100 level of interest just beneath that. All right, so more proof. Today's going to be just a range day. Although I said that yesterday and was proven incorrect. So that's the thing about the expectations. Always want to be flexible. However, as of right now, NQ just value area low, value area high. Session low is 23,100, just beneath it. Volume's actually decent this morning. It's average. We're almost 90 minutes into the sesh. There's NASDAQ back in a session volume point of control, 23,162. I'll give it 10 more minutes here into 11 a.m. See if we get one more entry. Otherwise, just going to be happy here with the one and done. So far, I think we nailed the best setup of the day, of the morning so far, anyway. Let's take a look at ES. ES just trending lower here. Series of lower highs. New low of day on ES. All right, NQ coming into the lows. Definitely getting more interesting here as we get into 11 a.m. Almost a new low of day. Is that your new low of day? Yeah, new low of day right there. By maybe one tick. And we get into the previous all-time high. Timmy caught the NQ dump. Nice, man. There we go. There we go. There we go, Timmy. So we're looking to see the reaction here into 23,100, prior all-time high, prior near-term resistance. Gap and crap today. Gap and crap. Look at that opening print being respected on NQ from earlier. NASDAQ new low of day. Here's 100, 23, 100. Now, like we talked about this morning before the open, and as shared in the pre-market prep notes, if 100 fails, watch for the prior day high and then the gap fill spot. Decent volume coming in, a little uptick in volume. New low of day. And 3 minutes till top of the hour with NQ right here at the level of interest. Meanwhile, ES is into the overnight low. Wow, what a move over there on ES. RTY down beneath the prior day low. Did buyers show up here? So far, no. New low of day. There's your true test of 23,100. Down through 23,100. I'm watching for the next 2 to 3 minutes. If we're making fresh lows past 11 a.m., that is a wrap for me so far. Where's my cursor? There it is. So far, nothing down in these 23,100 area for me. Nothing there. No entry there. Very well could just be the one and done. One and Dunsky. This may need some higher time frame action here. 15-minute, 30-minute. You have ES, a little blip beneath the overnight low. And here's 11 a.m. All right, can it hold? There's your new hourly bar starting off. Prior two bars, pretty bearish. And it's just right back into the lows. Right back into it. See what the 5 minute has to say here. 5 minute up through prior bar high could definitely be significant, at least in the near term, in the intraday. Good volume for time of day. That's for sure. If you manage a very tight entry down near that 100, you may want to consider protecting it. I had no position down there. Where's that shallow fib at? Let's see that intraday. Shallow fibbler. It's right there, 126. Anyone end up trying that long? There's the shallow fib being tested, 23, 126. Give a ripper. 5 minute couldn't show any action above prior bar high so far. Michael took a long off 30-minute low. Nice. ES, nice little undercut, little spring setup at the overnight low. You have the 6,300 psychological level right through there as well. Sold at the 5-minute prior bar high. Nice. That's a good scalp right there. Love it. Nicole took the ES overnight low. Solid. That was clean right there. Let's see that. Yeah, that ES is nice. Little spring, very tight wrist there on the 1 minute. RTY have that very similar spring setup there with the prior day low, as well as some intraday structure. Yeah, Gabe, more monitors adds to the profitability. Definitely. Gotta maximize your your screen real estate there. 100%. NQ volume just fell right back off. Chrissy took the 11 a.m. long, solid. Where's our volume point of control at anyway? Oh, it's still way up there. Still 165. That's probably not moving today. There's a huge high volume node there. See the rest of the overnight. Yeah, that thing's not moving anytime soon. Even RTH. It's way up there, 163. Okay, noted. Noted. Dom's long. Dom in the long. A little push for you, Dom. Are you in timeout? What are you talking about? You gotta talk to your wifey about that. Not me. NASDAQ getting back here into VWAP, 38% fib. Any longs you may want to trail and profit. Protect some downside. That would be my approach anyway. So buyers stepped in and defended where they needed to, right at the key higher time frame pivot, right at the previous all-time high. Probably your best entry is the very tight little 1 minute doji there right at 11 a.m. if you ask me. Personally, I waited for a bit more confirmation, so a little bit of a later entry, but I wasn't loving that action down near 23,100. I didn't want to be the only one in there. So was willing to take on a little more risk just for some additional confirmation. Now the trail's in profit. I'll take some more off right here into VWAP if we trade, say, what is it, 145-ish. NQ just shy of VWAP now. Just shy of that 38% fib. Probably got to bring this a few ticks lower. There's VWAP. Trim a little more. So where's that other trade? There it is. 2 for 2 here. Both entries, relatively speaking, in the same area, right? Right near that 23,100 area. As mentioned in the pre-market prep notes in the Traders Think Tank, that was the main level I wanted to get involved against. That's exactly what we did. Followed our plan. Benny, volume point of control next. Yeah, you have the 50% fib right through there too. So call it 159. If you're looking for areas to reduce, I'll probably reduce at like 158, 157. Front run it by a few points. Just make sure you get the exit. Right now I'm just trailing. I got the trail down near 130. Here comes the trail. It's just trailed out right there. There's the trail. We take it. All out. 2 for 2 today. 2 for 2. Definitely could have had a tighter entry on this second trade, but I wanted a bit more confirmation on that one. Volume was good. It had the right look. I just didn't see the price action that I really wanted there. So we're 2 for 2 on the morning. I'm gonna call it a day there, at least in the personal account. And so that was a wrap. Hope you guys had a good morning. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank here. 23,100 stays on watch for NQ. That's the main pivot. Tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? Fed's beige book, I think, at 2 p.m. or something. So, all right, folks, thanks for your time today. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.